Welcome to the 2026 ChannelX Leaders Interviews. And I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Prabhat Shah, because Prabhat, I've been trying to figure out how long I've actually known you, and I think it's getting on for something like 20 years.
Yeah, I agree, Chris. I agree. It's been a while.
So we've done so much over the years, but your most recent venture, not so recent anymore, actually, it's been running for a number of years, is Amafest. An Amazon Sellers Conference, which I was mightily surprised at because it's been running in Brighton for years, but it's moving to Birmingham in 2026. I want to find out a little bit later about what's inspired the move. But first of all, why did you create Amafest, and how does it aim to help both new and experienced Amazon sellers in today's, what I've got to say, is an ultra competitive marketplace?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it will. Let's go back a little bit when you talk about the history. When me and you started talking, perhaps 20 years ago, you've kindly helped me to establish my presence in the marketplace. And at the time, we were running different meetups. Sorry, I'm going a little bit of history here. We were doing lots of meetups, and you've helped throughout that period of time. And I don't forget that. And at that time, I had I would say, dream to bring a larger event in the UK marketplace space. Having hundred of people to be there. So, and it took a while to get to where we are, but we are there now. And the idea is to bring sellers together to share the knowledge on the day. And I personally quite scared may not be the right word, but networking is a difficult thing for me. I'll be honest with you. But when there is something there to learn, I'll be there because I've got a something problem. Every marketplace sellers will face some sort of issues, and you want something to learn on the day. You come there to purely for the learning perspective, and this is why Amafest UK was made. It's purely so that marketplace sellers can come in and learn from other sellers, maybe experts, maybe other people there in the room.
So this is fantastic, and I've always loved networking, and I remember those early meetups, best part of 20 years ago. But I've got to say, today there are so many opportunities for networking, and there's a conference almost every other week. How does Amafest UK stand out from the other e-commerce events, and especially? Touch on the sort of the emphasis you've got on practical networking and supplier interactions without the pressure of sales pitches. But I know it's fantastic the way you bring people together. Just tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So when people come in with a learning perspective, this is the core focus of the event. When people come in for a learning perspective, so they meet up and they talk about their challenges. And because they are there to learn, people are ready to share their challenges very often. And to enable that, we've got a couple of things we do on the day and the night before. So we hold a drinks event in the evening before, so people come in and have a drink. And on the day as well, there are quite a lot of networking times like lunchtime, tea time, and then also there are drinks time after the event as well. So all these little time where we have together will allow people to share. And you mentioned rightly in Brighton, we've done it for a few years there. It's such a nice place to be. When I go in there, you have a better feel, and people do come in to relax and talk to each other. So the environment settings we have, the networking time we have, is good opportunity for people to talk to each other.
Yeah, and I think that's great because I've got to be honest. Every time I've gone to a conference, it's always when you sneak outside for a cup of coffee with someone, or in the old days, it used to be people in the smoking area, and or you'll sneak off to a bar for a quick beer with someone, and that's where all the really, really interesting conversations often take place. Obviously, there's a huge amount of learning from the speakers on stage, but I think it is that ability to network with other sellers that is so valuable, and the opportunity to just run into people you've either never met before or haven't seen for 10 years or something, and you can find out what challenges they've got in their business, how they've solved it, and can that help you in your business. And I think that is one of the most valuable parts of all of the e-commerce events I go to. But I know with Amafest, you set aside an enormous amount of time to encourage and foster that networking between the delegates, the speakers, the attendees.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like you said, when there is a relaxed environment, people talk. Unlike when you're pressured to do something. And you never know that one conversation you have with a person can change your business. Um, so that is important. So time when you're learning with other experts for sure, but that time of talking to each other is very important as well.
So for Amafest UK 2026, it's actually going to be held in Birmingham this year on the 16th of October. So a move from Brighton. So I've got two huge questions. Why have you left that lovely picturesque seaside town to go to Birmingham? And also, what can people expect? I mean, the networking is great, but what can people expect on the education side at Amafest UK in 2026? So let's touch first of all on, you've gone from Brighton to Birmingham. Why the move to the centre of the country?
Yeah, absolutely. I think what has happened over the years, I've been hearing some feedback from people who traveled to Brighton. We did it for 4 years there. We traveled there to attend, but I've been hearing it's a little bit far to travel. Can we not put something in the middle somewhere? And Birmingham is obviously the right place to be because it's closer to London, closer to North in Manchester. As you know, we were doing a lot of events in Manchester before. Um, so uh, so just the further reason of people can be there. So we moved to Birmingham for that reason. So I'm excited because it's a new place for us in terms of Amafest UK. And I'm hoping, that will help a lot of sellers from North who couldn't travel otherwise, could be there on the day.
I've got to admit, even for me, living in Berkshire, Birmingham, I can be there in less than an hour and a half. Brighton is more like a 2.5 hour car drive, and trains I'd have to go to central London to come back out to. Birmingham is a really well connected city to get to. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
But let's get on to the important part, the content. What apart from the networking with old friends and maybe some new friends in the business, what can people expect to learn at Amafest? How is it going to help an Amazon seller's business? And I think also it's worth talking about what sort of size Amazon business is Amafest UK aimed at? Is it for people just starting out? Is it for people that have been selling for 10 years? Does it depend on the size of the business? Do you need to be a brand, or is it for independent sellers? What can we expect from Amafest UK, and who should be coming?
Sure. So in terms of content, with generally, our aim is education. So we tend to put something something practical on the day. So topics we were used to cover, and we will be covering things like the with PPC challenges. I know Amazon PPC is a challenge for a lot of sellers. We'll try and bring in a topic related to that. So where an expert can share the real life insight. I think that is where we are good at. So we bring in real life insight from experts who has actually done it and show people, okay, how to do it. That's important. There are other topics like new topics like AI, and AI is now every part of life, but how can Amazon sellers use AI creatively to make their things better? Like, for instance, to do with images, to do with the video, to do with content side of things. How can life, Amazon sellers can make their life better? In addition to these topics, the unique position with Amafest UK is bringing vendor central users as well. So we bring in, vendor central experts where people can share some information which otherwise are not available in a public forum. And some experts, when they do come on the day, some of the topics and information are exclusive to the event, because a lot of times I'm not even allowed to share their slides and stuff like that. So it's important to come in on the day to see the experts themselves.
And I think that's something really important that you just said, that you don't just deal with third-party sellers on Seller Central, but you also deal with people, first-party sellers to Amazon on Vendor Central, because the vendor selling experience is not only so different, but I think that there's so many businesses nowadays that have got a kind of hybrid model where some of their products they're selling direct to Amazon, who sell them as sold by Amazon on vendor, but they still have other products which they sell themselves on third party products that Amazon don't necessarily want to stock. And I think too often a conference will just focus on Seller Central sellers, third party sellers, and won't have any content at all on the vendor side. So that makes Amafest a really valuable place to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you mentioned about who should attend. So the event is geared towards someone who is already trading for a few years and they want to grow. So a lot of topics are covered around growing the business rather than starting up. So that's where they are geared towards. In terms of, as you mentioned, it could be seller central users, could be vendor central users. It will cater for both. There are people in the past who are brands that have attended, and also resellers who's attended the event. So a lot of times it's not focused on a particular type of startup, but it's more of a growing businesses.
Amazing. So I'm keen to know, give us some sneak previews. What exciting new features have you got planned for future Amafest UK events? Maybe 2026, maybe even in 2027. And also, how can attendees stay connected with the Amafest UK community year round? Do you have any other resources that keep the community together rather than this once a year Amafest UK event?
Absolutely. So the one of the key things we've planned for the future, it may not be 2026, but the future is one-to-one connection with the experts and any exhibitors there. So a lot of times we have 5 people talking to one person sometimes, and sometimes I personally may not be comfortable talking with that particular person and expert when there is 2 other people there for business, for whatever reason. So because that sort of feeling might be there, and I feel that, so from the feedback I hear that. So we'll encourage, we'll find a way, we will establish a tool where sellers can connect with experts and exhibitors one-to-one basis on the day as well. So that's a new thing we're trying to think about and plan about. And the next thing for the year out, if sellers want to connect with us throughout the year, so we do Online Seller UK podcast. So and we bring in different experts from various areas of Amazon expertise, whether it's vendor or seller or logistics, PPC, various aspects of the Amazon, and we bring out different topics. And the good part of this podcast is about 10-15 minutes. So if you're driving a car or you're going somewhere, you can listen to a specific information, and it doesn't take too long, and you can go and implement. So yes, we have good podcasts throughout the year.
Fantastic. So just for those watching, and I will put links in comments below, AmafestUK.com if you'd like to attend the conference, OnlineSellerUK.com, where you'll find a whole load more resources and the podcast. And of course, if someone wants to get you in touch with you yourself directly, Prabhat, either click on the contact us on the website, or I'll put your LinkedIn profile below. But I think anyone that's serious about growing a business on Amazon, then mark the 16th of October?
That's it. That's it.
16th of October in your diary to attend Amafest UK conference in Birmingham. Prabhat, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Chris, and good to see you again after so many years.
It's a pleasure to see you as well, and I look forward to hopefully catching up with you at Amafest this year.
Absolutely, absolutely.